Satyavati, her two sons, Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. These young princes were the heirs to the throne of Hastinapura. Their father was the noble King Shantanu. He was a wise and just ruler. However, his heart ached for his eldest, Bhishma. Bhishma was born of the Ganga and had taken a vow of celibacy. This meant he could never be king. Despite this, Bhishma remained devoted to his father and his kingdom. He took it upon himself to train his younger half-brothers. He taught them the art of warfare. He schooled them in statecraft. He instilled in them the values of a righteous king. Chitrangada, the elder, was a quick learner. He excelled in archery and swordsmanship. He was eager to prove himself in battle. Vichitravirya, still a child, observed his brother with admiration. Bhishma saw great potential in both his wars. He knew that the future of Hastinapura rested on their young shoulders. He prepared them for the day they would inherit the kingdom. He taught them to rule with wisdom and courage. He wanted them to be strong and just kings. Chitrangada blossomed under Bhishma's tutelage. He was a natural warrior. He was fearless in battle. He was strong and agile. He mastered every weapon with ease. Chitrangada was eager to test his skills. He yearned for the thrill of the battlefield. When Chitrangada came of age, his father granted him permission to lead the army. The kingdom faced threats from neighboring kingdoms. Chitrangada led his troops to victory in numerous battles. His name became synonymous with valor and strength. He earned the respect of his men and the fear of his enemies. Tales of Chitrangada's bravery spread far and wide. He became a legend in his own time. People sang his praises. He was the pride of Hastinapura. His father, King Shantanu, beamed with pride. Bhishma, too, was pleased with his pupil's progress. Time, however, had other plans. King Shantanu, burdened by age and sorrow, breathed his last. The kingdom mourned the loss of their beloved king. A shadow of grief fell upon Hastinapura. The people felt lost and vulnerable. They needed a leader to guide them. Bhishma, ever the pillar of strength, stepped forward. He knew that the kingdom needed a ruler. He announced Chitrangada as the new king. Chitrangada was ready. He had been trained for this moment. He accepted the responsibility with determination. He vowed to protect his people and uphold the legacy of his father. The weight of the crown was heavy. Chitrangada was determined to prove himself worthy. He knew he had big shoes to fill. He had to live up to the legacy of his father. He also wanted to make Bhishma proud. Chitrangada's reign began with promise. He ruled with wisdom and courage. He heeded Bhishma's advice. He maintained peace within the kingdom. He expanded the kingdom's borders through strategic alliances and conquests. He led his armies to victory in several campaigns. Chitrangada was not just a warrior king. He was also a wise and just ruler. He implemented policies that benefited his people. He improved infrastructure. He encouraged trade and commerce. He worked tirelessly to ensure the prosperity of his kingdom. Under Chitrangada's rule, Hastinapura flourished. The kingdom enjoyed a period of peace and prosperity. The people were happy and content. Chitrangada had proven himself to be a worthy successor to his father.
Chitrangada's reign began in a whirlwind of activity. He expanded the kingdom's borders and secured its trade routes. The young king's fame spread far and wide. It reached the ears of a powerful Gandharva king, also named Chitrangada. The Gandharva king, proud and arrogant, saw this as a challenge. He decided to wage war against Hastinapur. He wanted to prove his superiority over all mortals. The clash between the two Chitragandas began. The human Chitrangada fought with unmatched bravery and skill. His armies followed his lead, inspired by their young king's courage. His armies followed his lead, inspired by their young king's courage. The Gandharva king, however, possessed magical powers and illusions. The battlefield became a confusing whirlwind of smoke, fire, and shifting landscapes. Months turned into seasons, and seasons into years. The war dragged on, a relentless test of strength and will. For 3 long years the war raged on. It brought both kingdoms to the brink of exhaustion. The human Chitrangada, despite his youth, displayed remarkable resilience. He refused to yield even when the odds seemed insurmountable. His spirit remained unbroken. He became a symbol of hope for his people. They drew strength from his unwavering determination. Chitrangada pushed back against the magical onslaught, inch by inch. Just when victory seemed within reach, tragedy struck. The Gandharva king, enraged by his dwindling advantage, unleashed a final, desperate attack. He caught Chitrangada off guard, mortally wounding him. The young king, his armor stained crimson, fell from his chariot. The news of Chitrangada's death spread through the battlefield like wildfire. It extinguished the flames of hope that had kept his army going. Despair gripped their hearts. They fought with the ferocity of grief, seeking vengeance for their fallen king. The Gandharva king, victorious but weary from the prolonged war, retreated to his own realm. He left behind a trail of devastation and sorrow. The victory rang hollow for the people of Hastinapura. They had lost their king, their protector, their hope. The news reached Satyavati, shattering her world. Her grief was immeasurable. She had already lost one son, Devavrata, to vows and duty. Now her second son, Chitrangada, was snatched away by the cruel hand of fate. The kingdom mourned with her, their sorrow mirroring her own. The weight of the kingdom's grief seemed to suffocate the very air they breathed. Bhishma, ever the pillar of strength, stood beside his grieving mother. He shared her pain, though he bore it stoically, his face a mask of grief. He vowed to protect his kingdom, to honor Chitrangada's memory, and to guide Hastinapur through this period of darkness. Bhishma, despite his own grief, knew that tradition had to be honored. He performed Chitrangada's last rites with solemnity and respect. He immersed Chitrangada's ashes in the sacred Ganges. Bhishma knew that he had to act swiftly. He called a council of ministers and advisors. Bhishma assured them that he would guide them through this difficult time. The council looked to Bhishma, their hopes evident in their eyes. Bhishma, however, had taken a vow of celibacy, a sacrifice he had made for his father's happiness. He could not, in good conscience, break that vow, no matter how dire the circumstances. Bhishma's heart was torn, but his vow bound him, a constant reminder of his sacrifice. Bhishma recalled Satyavati's other son, Vichitravirya. He was Chitrangada's younger brother, a gentle and kind-hearted soul. Bhishma saw in Vichitravirya the potential for a just and wise ruler. He would need guidance, of course, but Bhishma was more than willing to provide it. He would be the power behind the throne, the protector of the realm, ensuring that Vichitravirya's reign would be a time of peace and prosperity. Bhishma presented Vichitravirya to the court as the rightful heir to the throne. He would guide and protect the young king, ensuring a smooth transition of power. The court, though initially hesitant, was reassured by Bhishma's words. Vichitravirya, thrust into the role of king at such a tender age, was apprehensive. He instilled in Vichitravirya the values that had made Hastinapur great: courage, wisdom, and compassion. Bhishma vowed to protect Hastinapur from both internal strife and external threats. He would ensure that the legacy of their ancestors remained untarnished.
Vichitravirya had come of age, and Satyavati was anxious about finding him a bride. Bhishma assured her that he will take care of it. His spies brought word. The king of Kashi was holding a Swayamvara for his 3 daughters, Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika. But Hastinapura king wasn't invited. Bhishma's eyes blazed with fury. Despite his vow of celibacy, he stormed Kashi, a force unstoppable. Shockwaves rippled through the court as Bhishma confronted the king, declaring it an affront to Hastinapura's honor. In a stunning display of might, he seized the princesses. The king of Kashi, dumbfounded, ordered his soldiers to chase Bhishma, but he moved with the swiftness of a tempest. Other kings joined the chase, but only King Salva dared to challenge him. But King Salva was defeated and was thrown away from his chariot. He felt humiliated and went back. With unmatched resolve, Bhishma raced back to Hastinapura, presenting the brides to Satyavati.
Enjoying our journey through ancient wisdom and legendary stories, don't forget to show your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us bring these timeless tales to life. Stay tuned, because the next episode might just be the most fascinating one yet. Until next time, keep the legends alive.